I proceed. Nigh unto death. From deep within. Unto battle. Storms light my path. Mindfully.
Holy fuck, bro.
Such tedium. Hearken unto cowardly. Thus and so. Does it tingle? Stands ready. Orbs light my path. The power is interrupted. Of course. Proceed. I'm under attack.
Жду твой третий, не могу сказать.
подписался.
Блядь, ну купи вард на линию. Ты не понимаешь, что они как они выигрывают эту линию? Да уже я купил.
Well, tradition. With speed. Yes.
Your middle tower is under attack! Hold on your hats!
Spherical sorcery. So it is said. I'll keep it in mind. Cunning fabrication. Weakness proves. Well away. Of course. It is tedious. Thus and so.
Блин, ну брат, я к тебе привожу. Ты чё? Вообще.
Over your this thrives.
РП есть.
कौन सी मूवी? कुछ भी बोल रहा है, कुछ भी।
A charming hex. Defeat. Incantation. Mandate of impetuous struggle. Known only to is my arcanery. Spell works no wide. Fury about. Invisibility. Keep it in mind. Concentration. Unto battle. Away, take
Продай, продай, профит.
hither I go.
Double kill. Your top tower is under attack. Fortified. Radiant structures are. Your top tower is under attack. Enemy bottom tower has fallen. Your top tower has fallen.
I proceed.
Я иду на него. Есть, только крутил.
Хватит. Хватит, ё-моё, выигрывать хотя бы.
The cosmos is restored. Concentration. Haste. Thither I go. Away hence. From naught. I'll keep it in deep within. Fine. What's hindering this dream?
Tower is under attack.
Forthwith. Well away. So it is said. Arcanery thrives. Orbs light my path. From deep across exalt. Abounds with speed. Tis tedious. Behold! Spherical sorcery. Such tedium. Mindfully.
Anyone hear me? It's a killing spree over here. Under attack.
Avowedly.
Your bottom tower has fallen.
Thus and so. Abounds. Arcanery thrives.
Мне РП надо. Маны нет.
Tedious. Avowedly.
Ну хоть какая-нибудь помощь, не?
Deep within. Away hence. Mindfully.
Seen someone bleed out in the net?
Thus and so. Witness true sorcery. Most cunning fabrications.
Shan has fallen. is under attack. I hate to nag, but watch out. Your middle tower has fallen.
Lethargy. Concentration.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
I'm well aware of it.
Tower is under attack.
Ignorance ensures Hindergast.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Oh my. Radiant structures are fortified.
Sorcery. Charming Hex. True swiftness.
Вязал Fusion.
Away.
Your middle tower is under attack. You may want to take care of that. Your middle tower is under attack. Not good. Not good at all.
Such teeth.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
पुराने के निकालते के स्टेट वर्सेस डेफिनेटली देते हैं जस्ट को मानना पड़ता है अगर ऐसा हुआ था
मानने की क्या चीज़ है?
मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल कोई लॉयर बोल ले कि जस्ट ये बोलना नहीं मैं डिनाई करता ऐसा कुछ नहीं फिर वो जाके ऐसा हुआ था
He just mega killed.
Die. As you will.
क्या नाम है जस्ट को मानना पड़ेगा
I'm well aware of it.
ये बोला था
Prepare your mind for
Your bottom tower is under attack.
temptation. Mandate of impetuous strife. Machinery thrives.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
Yes. Sorcery. Unto battle.
Лего вот.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Forthwith. Avowedly. Welcome to the city. Thus and so. With speed. Such
Джаггеры, конечно, да.
Stand still, I'm wondering. Thither I go.
Your top tower Dire structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified.
Джаггер вообще плевать на игру, он играет чисто соло. Чел, ну ты мог бы с нами поиграть, не?
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
This bore me from deep spiritual sorcery. Unto battle. Cowardly. I am committed. Of course. Well, concentration. For the dead with speed. Mindful. Thus and so.
He's dominating, Rick!
Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks have fallen. Your middle barracks have fallen. Your top tower is under attack.
An honor. Hindergast. Mine is my arcane. Away hence.
Roshan has fallen to the giants.
I'm well aware of it. I'll keep it in mind. Such. Juggernaut's power is doubled. Arcanery thrives. Arcana known only to me. Yes.
Oh, this cheese is dominating.
Oh my gosh, it's an ultra kill! Sometimes monster kills they happen before you just gotta get
Your middle tower is under attack.
Excellent. This is me.
Your top tower is under attack.
Of course. Mine is my arcanery. I'll keep it in mind. Forth with spirit. concentration. Unto battle.
Ну ты упани, блядь! Хули ты стоишь, фоткаешь, нахуй, чел?
Чел, у меня вообще-то сало.
Блядь, просто подойди, я не знаю, блин, конись туда, дай
И что,
кнопки
что
хоть
мне с тобой...
какие.
В смысле? В смысле, блин, конись? Блин, конись, куда? Скажи, куда мне,
К
блин?
сайленсеру и дай по ебалу ему просто стычки, нахуй. Он на лоу хп убегает от меня, блядь, я
А ничего,
замедлен.
что у него агоним?
И
Понимаешь,
что,
ты
дядь, ты
же-
блинкнуться не можешь или что, я не понимаю.
Ты дебил? Он мне сбивает блинк агонимом. Ты конченый? Или что? У него подсчитай, что делает агоним. Почитай сначала, а потом ты говори. Или ты конченый, просто, я не знаю. Лишь бы вякнуть. Ты понимаешь, что блинк сбивается, он накидывает первый скилл. Или что? Или нет? Объясни мне.
Mindful,
Вафел, что-нибудь скажешь?
of course. Temptation long remembered from silence of behold. So it is said. Attack.
Блин, гонись, говорит. Ёб твою медь.
Arcanery thrives.
Killing spree.
Barracks have fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Oh my heavens. Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Che, loco, solo se puede disfrutar esto. Defeated!
사단다기.
Rox isn't dead. Rox is still alive inside his son, Blackbeard's body. Two souls sharing the same body. thanks to the Ope Ope no Mi's personality transplant surgery. And this single revelation answers all of the so far unexplainable mysteries surrounding Blackbeard. How he is able to eat 2 devil fruits when no one else can, why he never falls asleep at night, even how he managed to scar Shanks in the past in direct combat. And most importantly, Rox still existing inside Blackbeard sets up the most powerful final opponent for Luffy to become Pirate King imaginable. No longer is it just going to be Luffy versus Blackbeard, rather it will also be Luffy versus Rox reincarnate. The most powerful evil pirate in history, back and more powerful than ever, here to finish what he swore he would set out to do. The idea that Rox is still inside Blackbeard is something that has become very popular in the fandom very fast, but I don't think readers have pieced together just how much overwhelming evidence there is across the story that Oda has been setting up for this reveal for a long time. By the end of this video, you will be convinced that Rox being inside Blackbeard's body isn't just a theory, it is the truth that Oda has been hinting at since Blackbeard's introduction. But first, if you want to use a high-quality VPN for less than $3 a month, Surfshark is offering that deal for my viewers right now. Surfshark VPN is the sponsor. So that aside, to begin with, there is one striking aspect of how Oda is writing Rox so far that is very odd, which is that it is extremely rare in anime and manga and most fantasy in general for an author to spend this much time and focus fleshing out a villain who is already dead. See, when we first learned about the existence of Rox and readers began looking forward to the inevitable God Valley flashback, the common expectation was that we would be seeing the flashback from Roger's perspective, with Rox being the main hurdle for Roger to overcome, who we would meet in the God Valley conflict. And while we certainly still could end up getting the God Valley conflict from Roger's perspective, what's surprising is that we are first getting an extremely extended backstory from Rox's perspective. Rox's backstory is already more extensive than any of Luffy's actual enemies, like Doflamingo, Kaido, and Big Mom, and of course many of One Piece's most iconic villains never even got backstories, period. The Rox flashback is a lot of storytelling work Oda is putting into a villain if he simply exists to give us some context surrounding a modern-day villain's motivations. Generally speaking, if a villain from the past is getting that much focus, it's because they're actually being set to return as an antagonist for the hero in the modern day. And it certainly doesn't help that Rox himself swore that he would one day make his return to challenge for the title of King of the World. And we know that Rox never got to do this during his lifetime. Now, this could easily just be a statement that sets up the will that Rox passes on to Blackbeard to carry out in his stead, but this encounter between Rox and Imu just felt so personal between these two characters specifically. In some ways, it feels like things do have to come full circle for Rox's own story to return to face Imu again. Now, at the end of the day, none of this means anything on its own. We know how passionate Oda can get when it comes to writing stories for side characters. Oda may have conceived Rox as the father and predecessor of One Piece's main villain, and then simply allowed his imagination to concoct a fascinating persona and history for the character that he just had to put to page. It does seem like a big leap to say that, wait, what if this scene is literal? What if Rox will return and is still alive today in his son's body? However, at the same time, Oda actually established a clear setup for Rox returning in his son's body, and the existence of Rox inside Blackbeard would also perfectly explain all of the strange, long-running, unsolvable mysteries surrounding Blackbeard today. To begin with, Oda dropped a huge hint surrounding the true power of the Ope Ope no Mi, and how it may have been used to transplant Rox's soul into his son Blackbeard. Everyone fixates on the immortality surgery as being the greatest power of the Ope Ope no Mi, but people forget the rest of Doflamingo's speech. Doflamingo's speech was not just about the immortality surgery. The immortality surgery was what Doflamingo himself was interested in, but Doflamingo actually explained that there are two specific powers of the Ope Ope no Mi that it is renowned for: the immortality surgery and the personality transplant surgery. This revelation that there are two special renowned techniques of the Ope Ope no Mi is absolutely huge. There's no real reason for Oda to specifically highlight the personality transplant surgery alongside the immortality surgery, because the personality transplant ability has never played a major role in the plot and has never even been portrayed as one of Law's most important abilities. In fact, the personality transplant was only used once by Law to set up a gag segment and then never again. And the Ope Ope no Mi has so many other absurdly powerful abilities that it seems almost random that Oda specifically established that the personality transplant ability is one that's uniquely special alongside the immortality surgery. It's obvious why granting immortality is such a valuable ability, but why is Oda telling us that this personality transplant ability should also be viewed as comparably valuable? Why tell us that this ability that Law barely uses is actually a lot more important than we would originally have thought? Well, step back and consider the continuing parallels between Imu and Rox, two sides of the same coin. The current king of the world and the would-be king of the world. The god versus the ultimate pirate. And with that in mind, look again at the two special abilities that Oda highlights here. First, the immortality surgery, which we know was performed on Imu. Oda has all but confirmed that for us. So then, paralleling that, what about the other special Ope Ope no Mi power Oda highlights? The personality transplant surgery. Is Oda highlighting that because that was the parallel ability used on Imu's counterpart, Rox? Was Oda foreshadowing for us here that the Ope Ope no Mi's two legendary abilities have in fact both been used, and they've been used on the two big bads of One Piece? The immortality surgery on Imu and the personality transplant on Rox. This is how both of them have survived past their normal lifespans to continue to live on as the lurking evils in the world today. And consider the other major parallel that clicks into place here as well, between Rox and Roger. Both Rox and Roger were unable to fulfill their goals during their own lifetimes, and instead intended to pass their wills on to their children. Roger went and conceived Ace specifically with the dream that Ace would grow up to become Joy Boy and carry on his will. So what if Rox followed that Ace would grow up to become Joy Boy and carry on his will? So what if Rox followed a parallel but far more sinister version of the same path with his son? Rox, upon realizing that he wouldn't be able to fulfill his dream in his lifetime, also decided that his dream would live on through his son. But Rox didn't just pass on a will. Rox decided that his son would literally be Rox's own second chance, using the Ope Ope no Mi to transplant his soul into the infant Marshall D. Teach. Rox would hide inside the body of his own son until the time was right, and then finally emerge and reveal himself to the world when the stars aligned. Now, so far, the personality transplant ability has only been shown being used as a way to swap souls. And I'm not saying that so far the man that we know as Marshall D. Teach has been Rox the entire time, with Rox having swapped souls with his infant son. No, the idea is that Blackbeard is his own character and Rox is his own character. This is a case of two souls sharing the same body. While we still need more details to understand how placing two souls into the same body would be possible with the personality transplant surgery, Blackbeard having two souls in his body, with one of them being Rox, would perfectly answer literally every unexplained mystery surrounding Blackbeard right now. There are three major mysteries surrounding Blackbeard that would each be finally explained if Rox is hidden inside Blackbeard as his alter ego. The first and most prominent mystery is of course the mystery of Blackbeard's two devil fruits. Somehow Blackbeard is the only character in all of One Piece who is able to eat two devil fruits, and this is something that none of the characters in One Piece, no matter how experienced or powerful they may be, have ever seen before. Blackbeard is the only anomaly, the one exception to the rule that only one person can eat one devil fruit. This of course would make perfect sense if it's revealed that Blackbeard has two souls in his body, his and Rox's. This would allow Blackbeard to be able to wield one devil fruit per soul. On top of this, even the two specific types of devil fruits that Blackbeard has eaten, the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gura Gura no Mi, are almost a dead giveaway of the other soul that Blackbeard is housing. See, the Yami Yami no Mi perfectly symbolizes Blackbeard himself. Blackbeard represents darkness. In his childhood, he grew up a victim of the world's darkness, turning into the embodiment of evil as the classic cutthroat, backstabbing, morally bereft pirate of pirates, the one who will blot out the sun. And the Gura Gura no Mi? That is a fruit that is practically modeled after Rox. Rox's entire fighting style is already characterized by destructive shockwave attacks that blow everything away. Rox, even without a Devil Fruit, always fought as though he was a Gura Gura no Mi user. Oda in fact made a major point of establishing what a unique fighting style this was, to use a sword as a weapon of force and shockwaves rather than to cut. Why? Because this man was born to wield the Gura Gura no Mi. The Yami Yami no Mi fits Blackbeard, the Gura Gura no Mi fits Rox. Whenever Rox's persona awakens in Blackbeard, and presumably takes over as the main personality, we will see one of the most powerful Haki users in history wielding the Gura Gura no Mi fruit in a way that only he could have been born to use. That is when the true terror of the Gura Gura no Mi will be shown at its full potential, in the hands of the man whose fighting style was tailor-made for it. Rox may wield the Gura Gura no Mi in a manner that even surpasses Whitebeard, the fruit finally in the hands of the man that genuinely can use it to destroy the world. And that notion of Rox's personality taking over Blackbeard's essentially as an alter ego also perfectly explains the second major mystery surrounding Blackbeard, the fact that he never sleeps. This is something that was revealed all the way back when Blackbeard was a child, when the Whitebeard pirates went up against the Roger pirates. The fact that Blackbeard is somehow able to eat 2 devil fruits, and the fact that Blackbeard strangely never sleeps, both always seem to be tied together, related to the unique physiology that Blackbeard is hinted to have. But it never quite made sense how these two strange, unexplainable characteristics were connected. Now, with the explanation that Blackbeard actually houses 2 souls, 2 personalities inside him, thanks to Rox's personality being transplanted into him, suddenly this would also make sense. When one personality sleeps, the other, more powerful personality awakens. It's exactly like what Oda already showed us with Cavendish and Hakuba. This leads to the perception from onlookers that Blackbeard never falls asleep, when in reality Blackbeard is falling asleep and Rox's personality is taking over. Now of course, whenever Rox takes over, Rox is careful not to make any waves. He would never act too far out of character and reveal himself, especially with all those years on Whitebeard's ship right under his former first mate's nose. But I believe there was one time, and only one time, that Rox acted out and showed a flash of his true self, and that is when he scarred Shanks. And this right here explains the final mystery surrounding Blackbeard. How did Blackbeard scar Shanks? We know that over a decade ago, Blackbeard managed to scar Shanks, but notably Shanks established that he was not caught off guard, and Blackbeard somehow managed to do this before Blackbeard even had his 2 broken devil fruits. This would imply that base Blackbeard, just through straight physical combat, was able to permanently injure Shanks, and this just doesn't line up at all with what we've seen of Blackbeard so far. Blackbeard has never been portrayed as a top-tier fighter without his fruits. In every single fight we've seen him in, he relies heavily on his devil fruits and struggles against power. This just doesn't line up at all with what we've seen of Blackbeard so far. Blackbeard has never been portrayed as
Hello guys, welcome back to another educational Smurf lobby, this time with a twist. I can't really offer much in this case, so I TP in here, nothing happens, we're just like chasing and nothing's happening, we're chasing the storm, he has like very low mana so we can actually kill him, so I'm like guys go on him, go on him, go on him, and then he gets a rune and it's like kind of hard, so he gets like, I know that this guy has decent mana to zip away, so when you see my positioning, he only wants to zip towards his side, otherwise he's gonna die top here because he doesn't have any mana. So he zips here and I get the kill on him again, which is like a lot of gold because he has a shriek, so we're gonna pressure this tower again because tiny, no blink, and storm is dead, so they don't really have any initiation that can actually kill me. So back to farm. I have chrono, so I might look for a smoke, which I do. Wait, this get bugged? It's bugged. I'm probably smoked here. It's bugged. Otherwise, I would not be moving like this. So we're technically smoked here. This is like a visual bug. And I'm trying to find the anti-mage here. And I don't know if we're going to find him. I forgot about this game a bit. But yeah, it seems like we're not going to find him. We're constantly looking for him. I see him mid. And I'm just like constantly waiting here to see that after he farms a mid wave, he's gonna go here, right? Because I see his team nearby. I don't want to chrono him here. It could be dangerous. I might not even get the kill. And then, because he has like 1400 HP, I might not even get the kill. And then I could die afterwards. So I'm just like waiting for him to be here, which is further away from this place, right? They can't save him here, but they can't save him here. So I'm just chilling. I don't see him. I see him going towards this side. So I just go back because I don't want to commit. Now I'm just back to farming. Farming is like very important. You don't have to force the objective. It's like I don't want to really press chrono. I don't really want to look around and just like try to get a chrono. I'm just gonna wait for the opportunity where I can chrono easily, which is this one, right? I'm just farming. The enemy's diving my tier 1, and I can just basically TP here and I land a good chrono because the fight is already started for me. I have all the information that I need. I can very easily just come here and chrono. So I go in here, chrono, get.
Have you ever wondered how the Dota 2 and while taking it seriously, my goal was to reach Asian 3-4.
Hello guys, in this first episode of the Educational Smurf series, I'll be playing with 2Ks in my team and 4Ks in the enemy team. The average MMR of my team is around 2.6k and for Dire it is around 3.9k. This is a game done in a private lobby, so I'm legally smurfing just for education. Just pick this hero because
Hello, friends. By saying that Dota in 2024 is not a solo game. If you've been playing long enough, you probably remember how it used to be enough to pick a single hero like Slark or Templar Assassin, get 20 kills and have 0 deaths, and easily finish the game in 25 minutes. Most players can't find enjoyment in such games, so now the game heavily relies on teamwork. Valve has balanced this through economy, streak systems, balance, glyphs, and much more, which I will elaborate on later. It's important to understand that Dota is evolving, and in order to not stay behind, you must adapt to the current pace of the game. So let's get straight to the point. The first thing you need to understand is that if your goal is to increase your rating, you should pick strong and current heroes. Most players who enter Dota have a mindset of, I will pick Pudge, Techies, or Rubik and have some fun. Approaching the game with this mentality, these people cannot have any influence on the outcome of the game. Hence, their win rate remains around 50%. After all, if you don't influence the game, you're just going with the flow, and victory will depend on a strong player on the map who picked a powerful and current hero. I suggest you reconsider this approach and become a player who has a 100% influence on the game. First of all, you must understand that the roles where you can have the most impact on the game are mid or carry. No matter how strong you are as a support, I'm sure you have experienced situations where your carry cannot use their abilities correctly, resulting in all your efforts going to waste. In order to not be dependent on chance, we must choose a role that everything depends on. So who should you pick? There are 2 effective types of mid laners. The first is heroes who can make a lot of impact on the map, allowing you to win team fights. Even if your team is weak, you can balance it out with your impact. Examples of such heroes are Tinker, Queen of Pain, and Lina. These heroes have active abilities and can constantly help the team. So with the right actions, you will have a 100% influence on what happens on the map. But these heroes have a downside. Their task is to create impact, but they themselves are not strong late carries. So if your carry is very weak, they can ruin your impact, and there is a chance of losing the game. This is why there is a second type of mid heroes that I prefer. These are solo heroes who are not dependent on the team because they can farm a lot of gold on the map, they can solo kill enemies, or they have good late game potential. Examples of such heroes are Alchemist, Lone Druid, Clinks, and Arc Warden. There are also Meepo and Visage, but for most players, they are something they don't understand, so I won't focus on them seriously. I will just say that in reality, these heroes are not that difficult, and on my channel, you can find a detailed explanation.
Would you guys believe me if I said that absolutely anybody could be Immortal rank? Yes, that's right, I said it. Anybody watching this video right now could achieve the highest ranked medal in Dota 2. Whether you're an Ancient player or a Herald player, hell, even if you don't play this game at all except for a couple turbo games here and there, you too can grind to Immortal. As you can see, even I myself, against all odds, finally became Immortal. But what's even more impressive than that is knowing all of these secrets behind it. And I'm willing to share all of those secrets to you guys in this video. By following this simple step-by-step tutorial, you as well could also become Immortal. So let's get started. Step 1. Learn to draft. Arguably the most essential part to play a different variety of characters is a must. Not only is this helpful for your versatility, keep your cool. Remember, Dota is ultimately an emotionally driven game, and being in a bad mental state will cause you to make hasty, rash, bad decisions you wouldn't. Everything. Listen, Dota 2 is a very intricate game with endless possibilities and complexities that will make you crack under pressure, making it very common for players to get confused and disoriented when playing a game at a disadvantage. It's always important to remember that not everything can go according to plan, and you need to adapt and outplay the enemy team's macro. Try to recognize where exactly the enemy team is playing, maneuver around them, and always trade objectives. Step 5. Working with your team. At the end of the day, always remember that Dota 2 is a team game. Nobody is perfect, and humans tend to make a couple mistakes every now and then. So don't be afraid to point them out, letting everybody know who exactly is to blame. Make sure to point out exactly every mistake they've made to make sure it never happens ever again. Step 6. Change your Steam profile to some random weeb shit. It doesn't really matter what your name directly translates to, just make sure it's in Japanese text. Bonus points if you put on some really cool profile picture, preferably something from Tokyo Ghoul or Solo Leveling. Yeah, that's fucking sick, bro. Holy shit, I got chills. Step 7. Waking up early in the morning. Believe it or not, waking up early in the morning not only benefits you a healthy lifestyle, but also... Or you could wake up whenever you want, I guess. That's fine. Step 8. Dip your face in ice cold water. This can help you revitalize all your human instincts and senses. It can help you see better, feel better, and just instinctively just make you a overall better player, I think.
What am I doing? This is so stupid.
Step 9. Lock the fuck in.
You think you have time? You don't. Every second you waste is another step toward failure while you sit there doing nothing. And soon, they will take everything you ever wanted. The money, the power, the respect. You think it's waiting for you? It's being taken while you hesitate. You allow their mindset to infect you, to keep you in the same pit they've settled for. You don't even question it because unless you wake up, unless you start thinking for yourself, you will be one of them.
Step 10. Pray.
Warning, in this video you will see that plays AFK teammates and many random
of boosting this account, so I will only play one game and try to find out 5 specific reasons why I am not a legend player. Let's go. I am off lane. So we have 2 squishy heroes. I don't think I should be the 3rd squishy hero. I'm thinking Lycan. Lycan, will people pick Koto in legend? I need a hero that kills everyone. Actually, I need a hero that buys Vessel. What hero buy Vessel here? This guy? No. Oh, I wanna play Bunty. This guy. Okay guys, first Magnus. What? Hey, we have a Magnus. What? Holy shit. Gyro Koto. Dude, they're actually extremely powerful.
Nope.
Dude, get the Koto.
Nope.
Oh, easy rune. I think the plan is to block their creeps. Oh, but there's this guy. What the fuck? What items did I just see? Dude, that's a first item rate band gyro. and one pull tango. Dude, this guy is so screwed. He walks up to me and gets a free hit. Oh my god, this... I can't tell if this is a range creep or...
Nope.
Oh no.
Nope.
Dude. This is so distracting. I can't tell if this is a range or a melee creep. Now, if you pardon my poor last hitting, which I blame the bright and rainy map along with the weird ass looking creeps for distracting me, I found the first reason, and that is, I have better movements. By movements, I'm referring to how you click and control your hero. In this game, I realized that legend players do not move their heroes smoothly. My guess is that they do not find it comfortable clicking around, so if you are these types of players, I highly recommend you turn on your auto clicker. In this game, I got off many free hits on Gyro because of his poor movements and starting item choice. Furthermore, he's not abusing creep aggro to get last hits, and that causes him to get stomped really hard in lane. What's happening? Can you pull the creeps? Right, wait. My settings is not right. Pull. What the fuck? This is a range creep, right? I swear these creeps looks like Venom wards, man. Basically, I'm playing against an AFK Gyro with an AFK Silencer. This is probably not a good reason, so I'll just move on. This guy is just standing here, and then my support is just standing behind me. What do you mean gold 9 creeps? What the fuck? I'm supposed to get 9 creeps at 6 minutes? What the fuck?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Okay, very cool. I'm actually winning my fight because I'm stronger. Okay, bad idea. I'm getting rot. I can actually kill this guy, what the fuck? Reason number 2. I will punish you for every mistake you make. In the legend bracket, there are many mistakes made that goes unpunished, so my guess is that it is taken for granted. In this case, if you don't buy an early sentry, I will kill you. If you don't push out your waist fast enough, I will kill you. If you step out of position for 1 second, I will kill you as well. You will be punished for these mistakes in the higher ranks, so if you are looking to gain MMR, you need to fix these mistakes. I'm gonna A-click him outside, so I don't take creep aggro when I go in. Okay, I need to cancel the aggro now. Eat this shit. I'm gonna A-click him again, then I'm gonna run in and hit him. Boom. Cancel aggro. Going back in. Oh. This guy is so dead. Number 3. I itemized based on the situation of the game, not based on the common item builds. Notice that I did not go into the game intending to buy a Desolator and try to kill everyone with it. From what I see, most players in this game are purchasing items that have little to no impact. In this case, I purchased a Boots and a Bracer as my first 2 items because if Gyro were to kill me, he will have to catch me and nuke me down. Having Boots and Bracers guarantees that I will not die to these 2 heroes, so I can pressure the lane even harder. Oh, there you are. Boom. You're tanking for me now? Boom. Boom. Spirit Vessel is the core item I'm going for because it prevents Necro from healing and it does a lot of damage to tanky heroes. I will only purchase items that have immediate impact on the game, so I will always have the upper hand if I come into contact with any heroes. Get the tower first. Okay, there he is. Free track goal. Alright, kill this guy. There's no boots. Okay. There's a blink. Okay. I'm going to kill them all. Bruh. What the fuck? Okay, not good, not good. Don't ulti me, man. Thank you. Oh my god. He's so dead. Who else? This guy. Okay. He can't regen. I have Vessel. Oh! Oh no, he didn't see the hook. Number 4. I plan my rotations. In this game, I also realized that most players are walking into the lane and farming creeps without looking on the map, and that makes it really easy for me to read the map. Heroes that should be showing waves are not showing waves, and heroes that should not show on the map are showing randomly. By picking up this little information, I get to run around and plan my kills in a very systematic way. This guy is so alone though. But I want this tower.
Powerful opponents in direct physical confrontations without his fruits. It has literally never seemed as though Blackbeard can actually defeat top-tier opponents without his devil fruits. Whereas on the other hand, Shanks is an absolute hockey monster, who can stop attacks from the world's strongest man and the fleet admiral of the Marines with no problem, who can one-shot 3 billion berry bounty pirates, who can overwhelm an admiral without even swinging a sword. And yet, the only man to scar him was somehow Blackbeard of all people. To really put things into perspective, even after Blackbeard had eaten both the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gura Gura no Mi, arguably the two strongest devil fruits in existence, Blackbeard said he still didn't feel ready to take on Shanks, which makes no sense if Blackbeard had already fought and scarred Shanks before Blackbeard even got his crazy power-ups. Now, for a long time, the one argument that readers used to rationalize this was that, well, Blackbeard scarred Shanks decades ago. Maybe Shanks wasn't that good of a fighter when he was young. Except now, Oda has revealed something that killed that theory. It turns out that Shanks was always an absolute hockey monster. In fact, Shanks is the youngest advanced Conqueror's Haki user that we've ever heard of in the story. Shanks was able to literally use the Pirate King's own signature technique, Divine Departure, by the age of 15. Something not even legends like Rayleigh or Gaban in their prime could replicate. Blackbeard, even right now as an adult, has never been shown capable of any advanced forms of Haki, let alone advanced Conqueror's Haki. Hell, it's never even been suggested that Blackbeard has Conqueror's Haki, period. So how the hell was Blackbeard, without his fruits, at any age, able to get the better of Shanks, the young Haki genius? The simple answer would be that there is something special that Blackbeard is hiding. Blackbeard likely is a far stronger fighter without his devil fruits than we realize. But at this point, we've seen too many life and death battles for Blackbeard where he has floundered and struggled in physical altercations, and relied entirely on his fruits to get the better of even mediocre Haki users, for it to make sense that in every one of these scenarios, Blackbeard is actively choosing not to use his secret top-tier Haki and fighting skills. What would make more sense is if there is a side of Blackbeard that is a far stronger fighter than he normally is, but that can only come out under certain circumstances, such as, say, when Blackbeard falls asleep. If Rox's soul is inside Blackbeard's body, and only comes out when Blackbeard falls asleep, then suddenly Blackbeard scarring Shanks makes sense. Shanks already observed how strange it was that Blackbeard never seemed asleep. At some point in one of their later encounters, if Shanks faced Blackbeard when the Marshall D. Teach persona had fallen asleep, and the Rox persona had actually taken over, then all of a sudden, a young Shanks would unknowingly have been up against the greatest pirate of all time. Shanks would have been lucky to get away with just a scar, but from then on, Shanks knew that there was something deeply dangerous about Blackbeard, a hidden evil that needed to be monitored. I elaborate more on the hints as to how exactly Shanks vs. Rox went down in my accompanying podcast, but it seems like Blackbeard was secretly hiding a top-tier Haki fighter inside him all along. But first, we're doing a huge summer sale, where you can buy 2 island posters and get 3 free. That's right, for this month only. And finally, this also perfects Blackbeard's role as potentially the final, or at least the penultimate villain of One Piece. Most readers agree that Luffy vs. Blackbeard will be the most important pirate battle for Luffy in the story, and that this battle should be at least as high level as Roger vs. Rox. it should feel like a battle that truly features two Pirate King level characters. But since Blackbeard currently seems so absurdly far off from being Roger and Prime Whitebeard and Rox's level, a lot of readers, including myself, have long speculated that Blackbeard will have to eat a third Devil Fruit to get to their level. However, with the continued increased emphasis on the power of Haki, and it basically being established that strong Haki is what matters the most and that Devil Fruits are secondary, then even with 3 broken Devil Fruits, would Blackbeard be able to overcome the gap in Haki, and not only surpass the level of the Yonko, but actually reach the level of Prime Roger and Rox to make for a fitting final matchup with Luffy? Maybe Oda could convince us that Blackbeard, just by eating one more fruit, could jump from having difficulty with someone who's not even Admiral level, to becoming the strongest pirate in history. But what if the far more exciting final challenge, one that would truly feel like Luffy has to go beyond Roger, would be if instead Luffy has to face off against Rox himself, just as Roger did. But this time, Rox would be wielding arguably the 2 most powerful Devil Fruits in existence. Essentially, Luffy would have to defeat an even more powerful version of Rox than Roger did, making it clear that Luffy has truly surpassed the previous Pirate King. So considering Oda has spent an inordinate amount of story focus on a villain that is supposedly dead, considering Oda has had said villains swear that they would return, considering Oda specifically highlighted the Ope Ope no Mi's personality transplant surgery being very important, the setup is definitely there for Rox to still be alive in the modern day inside his son's body. And considering this reveal would explain literally all of Blackbeard's unanswerable mysteries, how he's able to eat 2 Devil Fruits, why he never falls asleep, how he managed to scar Shanks even before he got his fruits, we never really knew Brook. We never even knew his original dream. We never knew why he wanted to become a pirate, who he was before he became a pirate, and most importantly, what the world was like during his first life, his original life. For instance, do you realize that the reason that Brook likely knew about the God's Knights is because Brook was once the leader of a kingdom's military? Meaning even though we didn't realize it up till now, Brook in his first life would logically have accompanied his nation's king to Marijua for multiple reveries, just as we've seen each nation's king bring their own best soldiers to the research. The legend of One Piece begins in chapter 100 with the following quote: "Inherited will, a man's dream, and the flow of time. As long as man continues to seek out the answer to freedom, these things shall never be stopped." This is maybe the most important page of the series. It is essentially Oda putting forward the thesis of One Piece, the ideas that will be demonstrated and proven over the course of this decades-long epic. There are a lot of other themes that go into One Piece, but this page encapsulates the core foundation of the story that everything else is built upon. And so even though One Piece technically starts in chapter 1, there is a strong argument that the true story only really begins at chapter 100, with East Blue serving as a prologue. However, I think there is one more argument to be made, that the real story of One Piece only really begins with Skypiea. When most people are catching up to One Piece, Skypiea can often stick out as an overly long side quest that takes us out of the main narrative, and for many it can feel like this detour comes at a particularly frustrating point, when it feels like the main world is just becoming a lot more interesting, with many of the major players starting to make their appearances, only for us to suddenly go off to an unconnected location for 80 chapters. But there is an important reason that Oda chose this point in the story to take us on this side quest. Because before we get too far into the One Piece world, before we discover the true enemy of this series, before we understand the full scope of this gigantic conflict we are delving into, Oda wanted to tell a simpler story. One that would seem inconsequential at first, but that would set a precedent for many aspects of the larger narrative to come. If chapter 100 begins with a page telling us the ideas One Piece is built on, the Skypiea saga is an entire storyline dedicated to showing us the ideas One Piece is built on, before we really start to explore those in the larger narrative. especially with the recent mentions of the Sun God. Many readers have started to realize how important Skypiea was. But with this video, let me break it down for you in full. How this saga spells out for us the meaning of dreams, inherited will, the flow of time, and freedom, and how this all plays into the emerging idea of the Dawn and the Sun God. So first, let's talk about dreams. Skypiea is by far the most fantastical location the Straw Hats have visited in the story so far. It's a land that really shouldn't exist, yet here it is, an island on an ocean of clouds in the sky. And of course, throughout the arc, it is stressed how dreamlike this location really is. It's simply a surreal destination, the ultimate.
Hello, everybody in the web. You can click this little spell card if you've never played Invoker before. That's great. You can consider Vessel. I have it in situational items right now. It's fallen all out of favor a bit. Let me get some charges. For countering like regen heroes, like an Alchemist, it counters his ult pretty well. It's gonna get less regen and do damage over time to him, so he's tanky. And I love building, not Vessel against the Bloodstone Sand King, but Mage Slayer. This will reduce his damage by so much. Invoker's actually one of the best Mage Slayer carriers for me right now. Topson did it a lot at TI. Because with a Dragon Lance and like Prey, you get a Grove Bow as well. You can apply both the damage thing, like 40% less spell damage, and you can apply your bonus spell damage for your team on them. So, like, Sand King or any hero that wants to go in and do a bunch of magic damage, and, like, even Quap can blink in sometimes, stuff that you can hit from far away and just help your team kite. You are very tanky with these two items. Like, this gives strength, some attack range, this gives magic resistance, and just the strength you get, honestly, from Quas is a big deal in the early game, too, and even the lifesteal.
I am committed.
Yeah. Stuff you want to see on your team. I love putting Alacrity on carries like Medusa, Wind Ranger late game. Most of the time you're going to Alacrity yourself, but there will come a time where your carry is finished farming and you have a Luna or a Wind Ranger with the Whirly Wind or a Medusa with 3 items, and you can just kind of play this like backline Invoker, ready to save them, ready to disarm if they go on them, or interrupt heroes, and just spam Alacrity on her, and it's a very easy win condition of just sieging or like playing around their hero. If they want to go on you, like let's say Storm wants to try and kill you and you have an Alacrity Medusa next to you, he's just not going to be able to like stay on the same screen as her, right? Stuff to keep in mind. You do have the option of building an Aghanims with stuff like Chronosphere or a Duel. Duel is also just great setup for the rest of your spells, like even just Sunstriking, or like same thing with, well, you don't need the Aghanims for the Chronosphere. But there's nothing they can do to get themselves out of a Cataclysm Chronosphere. Force Staff doesn't work. Other heroes can have saves and stuff like Shadow Demon, but yeah. Super basic combo. Another combo, if you have a friend who likes playing Mirana a bunch, doing the Cold Snap Tornado into an arrow, and I'm going to miss it because the Tornado is so leveled up. But we do it one more time. Okay, we lost. It's over. It's over. I'm not the Mirana in this combo, okay? It's not on me. There we go. Just to show you guys I can do it. But yeah, like in the early game, a lot of heroes, like Invoker's great against like Storm or other kind of like, or Invoker, like heroes that you want to gank early. He has amazing setup just by like almost screen wide away guaranteed Tornado Cold Snap into dropping them for a hook or a Sacred Arrow. Stuff like that is great with your supports that need setup. Another classic one, Elder Titan Stomp into, like, on top of the Tornado Cold Snap. It's great setup for the Elder Titan Stomp. And then once the Stomp is down, you drop an EMP, you get close. All that is great synergy.
Your top tower is under attack.
Now, what I think is probably the most controversial / difficult to understand part about Invoker is the skill build. Quas Exort is good very, very rarely, and I can't tell you exactly when. Honestly, BZM was one of the only players still doing it for a while. I think that 99.9% of the time, unless you're, like, if you know when to go Exort Invoker these days, there's some matchups, you don't really need this guide. This guide will focus primarily, and I'll show the in-game guide as well. Let me get to it. On going 3 Quas, 4 Wex, then 1 Exort, and then after that, deciding if you want more in Wex or more in Quas still, and trying to max Exort quickly. The general theory on Invoker is, I'm just going to give myself a bunch of skill points. You want 3 in Quas ASAP. Like, you're going to level Quas over Wex in the lane because of the lifesteal. Quas is very, very strong in the lane. And then at level 8, you usually want to have this build. I've had games where I wait for level 10 for my first Exort point. But I think that those are going to be few and far in between, and it's not that important. What's more important is if the early game is not going too well, you're not scoring as many kills, it is very important to start leveling Exort as quickly as possible so that you can scale better into the late game. So these Wex spells don't do any damage. EMP is not going to one-shot somebody on the screen. Tornado is set up, and it doesn't do that much damage. Like, getting 45 damage per level or whatever is not like a huge buff to the spell. They do benefit from more levels. Like, movement speed is nice. The disarm is nice. But you're typically going to max out on 4 and 5, sometimes 6 Wex instead of the full 7. And then you're going to start getting Exort as quickly as you can. Now, at 4 Exort, you're going to go back for the 4th point in Quas. So you have double Forge Spirits. There are some games where I want Exort levels so badly because of the passive even, just of putting Spell Amp debuff on them, like making my team and me do more damage with the Exort, making my Witchblade do more damage. Even the Mage Slayer dot does more damage. The Glypnir attacks do more damage with it. I've skipped Forge Spirits for a little bit. Like, I've gone like 5 or 6 in Exort and then back for the Forge Spirit point, the double Forge Spirit point. That's very rare too, but a lot of the times it's going to look like this. You're going to have 4, 4, 4, 4, or 4, 5, 4, and then you're going to max Exort, then max Wex, then max Quas last. Always, always, always get 2 Meteors at 20, but skip the 10 and 15 talents until you have all your orbs maxed. And then 25, you're always going to get the double orb thing. Like, all of a sudden, my team's doing like 50% more damage when I hit someone with Exort, plus the Parasma debuff. Like, whenever I have late game, it's crazy. Running really fast is fun. The lifesteal does have some uses. Like, this is not an insignificant amount, healing like 80 per hit or whatever it ends up being. I'm rounding up and just trying to go quickly, but yeah. Item build, a little less controversial than skill build, and I think you can follow this exact build 99% of the time. Just keep in mind this ninth level where you're getting the 5th point of Wex is when you can deviate into more Exort, and you don't have to get the 4th point in Quas at 10 either. You can get more Exort early, and then after that 4th point Exort, you can get the 4th point in Quas, like I said. Skill build aside, okay? Items, currently, these are the starting items I go. You're a universal hero, so stats are really important. I'll reset to level 1 even. So with 43 damage base, after I get all these stats in my inventory, it goes up to 58. You're going to get 6 pretty much per level. You will quickly outpace every single hero in Dota that you're laning against in terms of base damage. Very important because you need to score denies to take advantage of your innate in the first 10 minutes or so. You're rarely going to spend time denying after the laning phase. Advantage of your innate in the first 10 minutes or so. You're rarely going to spend time denying after the laning phase. You really want to have like 20 denies by 10 minutes or something like that, unless you're roaming a lot. Even more if you're just sitting there farming, right? Currently,